Country I'm going to be talking about is Nigeria. Nigeria is a country in Africa located on the western half between Cameroon and Benin. It's located on the Gulf of Guinea, so it does have coastline. It's currently the most populous country in Africa with about 175 million people. Nigeria is a country that has tons of natural resources that they actually functioned on when they were a militaristic country when they gained independence from Britain in 1960. The resources include oil, the biggest one, natural gas, tin, iron, hardwood, things of that nature. Also, since they do have coastline, they do have a big portion of temperate climate, which plays a big role in their main exports that they've been farming and with their agricultural society that they've been producing for quite a while now. Nigeria currently ranks sixth in the world and first in Africa in goods produced as far as like the farm output. Some of the things they produce are cassava or tapioca, whichever like you call it, corn, cocoa, millet, sorghum, palm oil, peanuts, rice, rubber. They have a lot of things that they can readily produce because of the climate. So you would think, because they have all these natural resources and their weather, it's not too bad, they wouldn't be struggling. They wouldn't be currently a third world country. They are a developing third world country, but the problem is that when they did gain independence from the United Kingdom in 1960, they had a militaristic style of government which basically controlled everything that they really did and produced. Their whole government and their economy was running on oil, and it's a very non-sustainable thing due to the fact that that's their only good, and all the money was going to one area, which was the military and what was ruling the nation. After about 40 years of a crazy stranglehold that the military put on them, the citizens basically said, you know what, we're done with this. We're over having other people control how much we do, and they really wanted to change. So all of the citizens, they basically came together and decided that, we need to change. So in May of 1999, they adopted a constitution which put them into a federal republic, much of the way that the United States and the United Kingdom use. So they have a president, they have Senate, House, Cabinet, all these things. They have different judiciary, legislative. They have state governments, local governments. So they, in the year 2001, was the first year that they had a citizen president. They held elections. Sorry, not 2001, 1999, when the Constitution was enacted. Was the first time they had a citizen president since they seceded from, or gained independence from, the United Kingdom. Fun fact, in 2007, it was the only time they had a citizen-to-citizen election or passing of presidential power in their nation's history. Since they adopted the new constitution, Nigeria has seen a crazy increase in GDP. They have one of the highest rising percents in GDP in the entire world. So again, you would think, why is this country struggling so much? But the problem is they have such a high population of people that their money is being spread so thin, even though they're making a ton of it, that right now 70% of people are currently under the poverty line. I think I read somewhere that the percent of people living on less than $1 a day is 63% of the people in the country. So if you did some math, it's about 100,000 people in the country that are living in just extreme, 100 million people, that are just living in completely extreme poverty. So let me just read some facts here. Nigeria right now is the number 2 country in the world for HIV and AIDS, with 3.3 million people being infected with the HIV/AIDS virus. They're only second behind South Africa, which is somewhere in the range of 5 million. And during the militaristic rule and the fact that they have such high concentrations of people in such small areas, their sanitation for things like food and using the restroom and their whole facet of life of sanitization is just, it's terrible. Germs and the control of them just goes out the window. And so diseases like malaria and meningitis are huge, huge, huge in Nigeria. So disease between those three big things are a big, big reason why Nigeria is still in such extreme poverty. They're also 15th in the world in infant mortality rate, and that's a percentage. So they probably have a lot. Their rank is probably a lot higher by number of infant mortality rate. And also, the education system was basically non-existent for the last 50 or so years. So that sets them behind an immense amount, just trying to move forward and trying to become the stronger country that they can be because of all these natural resources and the climate that I talked about earlier. So what is something that can help Nigeria? Same thing that can help every other country in the world: money. They need money, so they need to fix the things that are so broken. So the UN and Earth Institute, which is a sector of Columbia University here in the United States, basically, I'm going to read you the mission statement of Earth Institute. The Earth Institute brings together the people and tools needed to address some of the world's most difficult problems, from climate changes and environmental degradation to poverty, disease, and a sustainable use of resources. And to me, that says Nigeria. So there cannot be a better group of individuals working and assisting this country in the things that they need, mainly monetarily, and not just the money, but what to do with it, where it should go, and how to help these people who are actually struggling to bring this country to where it should be, because it can be. And I know a lot of countries around the world have seen that Nigeria has an immense population and so many resources, and they just need the kickstart to get it going, to get all these people out of poverty, to have these people moving forward. So basically they came up with this project. It's called the MIillenium Villages Project, which is currently active in 11 different countries in Africa. The goal, I'm going to call it the MVP because that's easier. The goal of the MVP is to reduce the number of people living in poverty. The number that was set forth in 2000 was cut by 50% in the country of Nigeria. And if they can do that, that would be amazing. They're moving towards their goal, and they are really, really getting these people moving forward. Also, some of the other goals of the MIillenium Villages Project are to provide universal education, improve. I'm actually reading a quote from a Harvard professor. His name's Dr. Phillips, from one of his papers that he wrote about the MIillenium Villages Project. He said that the goal is to provide universal education, provide child and maternal health, promote gender equality, and to fight HIV/AIDS, all of which are completely valid as far as Nigeria is concerned. They need help in all of these categories. So right now, through the UN and a department of the UN called the Development Program, so the United Nations Development Program, with help from the MIillenium Villages Project and kind of the blueprint that they've set forth for these people to try and really just kickstart. They've set about 1.2 to 1.5 billion dollars to this country in an attempt to really kickstart them, because that's what this country needs. And they got money from also other international crisis aid programs and local governments. So the end result of this is obviously to cut poverty by a lot, but to try and make Nigeria a self-sustainable country without needing aid from other countries, because they want this country to participate in international business, because they have so many resources and they have so much available to them that they should be getting involved. And they want to see the level of poverty go down, because there's so many people just living in such terrible situations with the disease and with the lack of money and education. So all these things are trying to create a better living environment for these people who are struggling in Nigeria, to create more opportunity is what they want. They're giving this country an opportunity to do something huge, and hopefully they can take it and roll with it and make it something amazing, starting with education, so people can have a good base of education, because right now 44% of the country's population is between the ages of newborn and 14 years old. So right in that prime age to get that education that they need to move forward and move up in the world. And the Millennium Villages project will hopefully set them in the right path to success.